A very good evening. From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. I'm Vidushni Sadish Kumar.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Charita Minapurarachi, and now let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
The president says that the journey launched to end poverty will not be stopped even if obstacles come in the way. The premier requests the people to elect a reliable group to parliament that can build the country. The UNP leader says he is prepared to take on the responsibility of the country at this moment of challenge. Arrested former CID Director Shania Besekura remanded. The suspect arrested with over 30 million rupees and 140,000 US dollars. COVID-19 positive cases in India reach a record high.
Now in local stories in detail. Devotees of Islam the world over observe the Hajj festival today. The followers of Islam observe Hajj to commemorate the sacrifices made by Prophet Ibrahim and his family. The Muslim faithful from all corners of the world converge in Mecca in Saudi Arabia to fulfill the obligation of their Hajj pilgrimage. However, this year only around 10,000 devotees were permitted to engage in Hajj pilgrimages at Mecca. Prayers were offered at mosques throughout the island to mark the holy day of Hajj today. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, issuing a special message to mark the Hajj festival, states that he believes that the Muslim community that has lived in unity with the followers of other faiths since ancient times, according to the teachings of the Holy Quran, will render their contribution for the benefit of the country in the future as well. The President in his message further states that he believes that this day of Hajj will contribute to further enhance the enthusiasm for peaceful coexistence, reflecting on the greatness of Allah the Almighty. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, issuing a message to mark the Hajj festival, extends its felicitations to Islam devotees throughout the world who are observing Hajj whilst giving priority to sacrifice and unity. The message further states that the Premier is of the belief that the discourses of Islam, which is one of the main religions in the world, will be extremely helpful in building a society of justice.
And meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that the journey launched to end poverty will not be stopped even if obstacles come in the way. He further states that all the promises given to the people in the vision of prosperity will be fulfilled. The President expressed these views joining in several rallies organized to support the election campaigns of candidates contesting under the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna from Badulla district. The President first arrived at the rally organized to support the campaign of candidate Tenuka Vidanagama at the Mahavali grounds at Mahiyangana. At the rally, a little girl by the name of D.B. Shashikala gifted a till of coins to the President to be deposited into the COVID-19 fund. In response to request voiced by participating crowd to end poverty, the President stated that it has been proposed to provide 100,000 jobs on behalf of the poor people in the country. He further stated that in addition, it has been planned to offer jobs to 50,000 graduates. He added that steps will be taken to grant jobs with training for students who pass their O-levels and A-levels. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa stated that in appreciation of the support extended by Sinhalese people to elect him as President, a new program is being devised to serve the Sinhalese people. The President, however, stated that when working with the country and its people, other factors and forces put forward obstacles. The President added that regardless of such obstacles, he will continuously take forward his new program on behalf of the country and the people without submitting to any force. Thereafter, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa joined in a rally organised in the premises of Kandakatiya Weekly Fair at Viyaluwa to support the campaign of Oshadi Hewa Maduma.
සෑම දෙයක් ගල් සියඹලා හිටන් ගෙන්නනවා මේ ඔක්කොම නැවැත්තුවා ඊට අමතරව අපි වැඩසටහනක් ගෙන තියෙනවා ගොවියාට තාක්ෂණය ගේන්න පොහොර අපි නොමිලේ දුන්නේ ඒකටයි නමුත් ඒවා විධිමත් කරගෙන මේ අවුරුදු 5 ඇතුළත කෘෂිකාර්මිකාන්තය දියුණු කරන්න ගොවියාට ඒ ආදායම වැඩි කරන වැඩපිළිවෙලක් තමයි මම ආරම්භ කළා තියෙන්නේ මම මේ ගිය හැමතැනම තිබුණු ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි පානීය ජලය ඒකට අපි අගමැතිතුමාටත් මම කිව්වා අගමැතිතුමා මේ අයවැයෙන් විශේෂ ප්‍රතිපාදන වෙන් කරනවා ලංකාවෙම පානීය ජලය ව්‍යාපෘති ආරම්භ කරා මේ වගේ මම මේ අත්දිනේ කළා අපි පැහැදිලි වැඩපිළිවෙලක් යටතේ තමයි ඉදිරි අවුරුදු 5 තුළ මම වැඩ කරන්නේ මේ මූලික වශයෙන් රට ගොඩ ගන්න නිසා ජීවිතය ජීවත් කරලා ඉන්න එකයි ඔක්කොම ඉස්සෙල්ලා
The rally organised to support the election campaign of Dilan Pereira was held at the premises of Megahakeula Fair. At the rally, the area residents requested the president to divert the waters of Loggalla Oya in order to cultivate 3,000 acres of barren farmlands. Thereafter, the president joined in a rally organised at the Ambagasduwa Pradesh Sabha grounds at Uwa Paranagama to support the campaign of candidate Shamika Buddhadasa.
බීජ පිළිබඳව පරිශන මේ කරන බලලා මේ කාර්යයන් හොඳ බීජ පරිගස්සන්න එකත් කරගෙන යනවා.
In addition, the president joined in several rallies organised to support the election campaigns of candidates contesting under the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna from the Monragala district yesterday. The rally was organised in support of the campaign of candidate Vimaladasa Galagamarachi was held at the Vallavai main bus stand. Thereafter, the president participated in a rally organised at the premises of the Buttala Weekly Fair to support the campaign of candidate Padma Udeshanta. The participating party's support was expressed pleasure at the president's decision to create an industrial zone in the Monragala district. The president also stated that in future, steps will be taken to promote pepper and orange cultivation and initiate supplementary manufacturing process for the produce of pumpkin and watermelon. At the rally, book written by candidate Padma Udeshanta titled Vellase Sinhalahanda and Atita Urumeka Anagata Mudrava were presented to the president together with a report prepared by Shasindra Rajapaksha Youth Forum on Solution to Human-Elephant Conflict.
Leader of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa requests the people to elect a reliable group to parliament that can build the country while protecting the resources of the country. The Premier made this comment at a rally held at Tissamaharamaya. The rally was held with the participation of Minister Chama Rajapaksa and candidates contesting under the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna at the general election. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that if his government built a port or an airport or an international stadium, it was for the future generation of children. He states that no government that comes into power to rule for the next 5 years has the right to sell off these properties. He reiterated that the Ruhunu Magampura port belongs to everyone, and if the Mattala airport is to be sold out, it is a national crime. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa accused the UNP for converting the airport into a paddy storage and further accused former parliamentarian Sajid Premadasa for supporting such a decision. The Premier stated that a decision needs to be taken as to whether the country has to be sold out or protected with its resources for the future.
මේ සම්පත් රැකගෙන ඔබේ දරුවට අනාගතේ ඉපදෙන්න ආව දරුවන්ට මේ සම්පත් ටික රැක දෙනවද කියන තීන්දුව ගත යුතුව තියෙනවා ඔබට.
The Premier also participated in a rally held in the Kirama Junction area in the Hambantota district. Thereafter, the Premier joined in a rally organised in the Sitina Maluwa area. A rally was also held in the Polonnaru Polonmaro area in Beliatta with the participation of the Premier. The Premier attended a rally held in the Mahavela area in the Hambantota district. At the rally, the Premier said that Hambantota will be transformed into an economic city.
And the leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, says the UNP is ready to take on the responsibility of the country at this moment of challenge. The UNP leader expressed these views addressing a rally held at Dehiwala. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe said in the same way in which he negotiated the International Monetary Fund in the year 2003, he is able to negotiate and obtain the necessary financing required for the country. He further explained thereby it will be possible to grant a 10,000 rupee monthly allowance for 1 million unemployed persons in the country. On the same note, the UNP leader explained that measures will be put in place to facilitate loans through the banking sector for those intending to launch business endeavours. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe asserted that the United National Party is prepared to take on this responsibility at this moment of challenge. The UNP leader reiterated that it is only the United National Party that has the ability to undertake this task. Commenting on the sentence of this party, UNP leader Wickremesinghe noted that there is only one United National Party in the country and the contest is between the UNP and the Lotus Bud Party. He pointed out that the breakaway groups have defected and formed a separate political party. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized nevertheless the United National Party should be protected.
Leader of the Samajana Bala, Sajid Premadasa, says that the back door of his party is open for those who cannot go forward with the victorious group to exit and join with bankrupt political parties. SJB leader Sajid Premadasa made this comment addressing a rally held in the Wattala area to ensure the victory of candidates contesting under the Samajana Bala yesterday. The rally was attended by a large number of SJB candidates contesting the forthcoming parliamentary election. Leader of the Samajana Bala Sajid Premadasa said that after the general election, many will begin crying through their noses as it will be his unblemished team that will represent even the urban councils and Pradesh Sabhas at future local government elections. He further stated that the team of the Samajana Bala will be proceeding forward, leaving the door open for those who cannot go forward to join with the bankrupt factors. SJB leader Premadasa added that his team is equipped with youth professionals to embark on this journey.
Several rallies of the National People's Power were held throughout the island. National People's Power candidate Nalinda Jantisa alleged that the group began supporting former parliamentarian Sajid Premadasa as they were of the impression that UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe cannot win an election. He further noted that when the party membership of Sajid's camp was suspended, SJB leader Sajid Premadasa did not appear on their behalf and ultimately those who always rallied around SJB leader ended up lost. The National People's Power candidate further noted that whenever issues cropped up, SJB leader Sajid Premadasa absolved himself whilst those who supported him were left redundant. NPP candidate Nalinda Jantisa also stated that there is no political journey with SJB leader Sajid Premadasa as he will never appear on behalf of those who support him when faced with loss. NPP candidate Jantisa affirmed that the need of the country is to elect a strong team to parliament that is dedicated to the well-being of the country and its people.
Former CID Director SSP Shania Besekera, who was arrested by the Colombo Crimes Division yesterday on charges of concealing evidence pertaining to an investigation, has been remanded until the 7th of this month. Well, the arrested SSP was produced before the Gampaha magistrate last night. SSP Shania Besekera was arrested on suspicion into allegations of fabricating evidence pertaining to the case involving the arrest of former DIG Vas Gunawardena in connection with the assassination of businessman Mohammed Siam. Former DIG Vas Gunawardena and his spouse were arrested in connection with this incident in 2013. 6 T-56 weapons and other firearms were presented in court as code items, alluding that a cache of hidden weapons had been discovered in a garden in the Kalagedihena area. Former CID Director SSP Shania Besekera was produced before Gampaha Chief Magistrate Manjula Karunaratne last night after a lengthy process of recording statements. The magistrate, upon considering the details presented, ordered that the arrestee be remanded. While on other stories, a suspect was arrested last night with cash amounting to over 30 million rupees and $140,000 believed to be the proceeds of heroin smuggling. The police headquarters state that the raid was carried out at Dematagoda upon a tip-off received by police personnel attached to the Colombo North Police Division. The police inspected a residence in the Dematagoda area at around 9 p.m. yesterday. At the inspected residence, 4 grams of heroin and 31.3 million rupees were discovered with $140,000. The rupee value of the $140,000 amounts to 26.3 million rupees, and it has been revealed that attempts had been made to repatriate these monies to an overseas individual through the Undial payment method. The arrestee is a resident of Dematagoda aged 55. He has been handed over to the Colombo Port Police. Further investigations are underway. The Colombo Crimes Division has arrested a close aide of organized criminal Singhara Amal Shamindra Silva alias Kudu Anju together with a firearm and 12 live bullets. The raid was carried out in the Panchikavat area in Colombo this morning. Upon information elicited from the suspect, a revolver manufactured overseas and 10 live bullets and 10 9mm bullets used for this firearm were found hidden at his rented residence in Meegoda. The rest is a resident of Seaside Road, Angulana, aged 33. The Colombo Crimes Division further states that in addition, a court case is proceeding against the arrestee in the Casbah courts on charges of aiding and abetting murder in connection with an incident of killing by shooting that took place in the Piliandala area in 2016.
And the NASA's Mars rover Perseverance is now on its way to the Red Planet in search of signs of ancient microbial life on the Red Planet. Along with the major news item, world media reported about a Sri Lankan-born engineer who contributed her knowledge and energy for the success of NASA Mars Mission 2020. Sri Lankan-born mechanical, robotics and rocket engineer Melanie Maharaji has been a key member of the mission team that designed the internal electrical layout for the Kazis rover. In the rover mission, Melanie was a lead engineer at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. Melanie told media that NASA's Mars program has never attempted to design a fully digital mock-up of electrical system before because of its complexity. She said that she is leading the international internal cabin design and communication system with a team of 6 to help them achieve this feat. Maharaji moved to the United States in 2003 with her husband and 2 children, pursued an aerospace engineer degree at University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. She had obtained her primary and secondary education from the Girls' High School in Mount Lavinia and the Holy Family Convent in Bambalapitiya. Starting a career later in her life, she joined Tesla's CEO Elon Musk's SpaceX, the top-tier private aerospace company, in 2010. Then she briefed world at Boeing before joining NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory JPL on the Mars rover 2020 mission in 2015. In an interview with the University of Cambridge Press, she explained her path to success in her unique career.
I started with SpaceX, and then as I grew in my career, I took on more specific roles because the things that I was good at, I always took roles that I'm really good at. I moved on to Boeing. There I designed the aircrafts. Although I love designing aircrafts, it was not as fun as designing rockets. So I go from startup to 103-year-old company. I learned a lot. When I was at Boeing, I was contacted by my NASA boss and he asked me, would you like to come and work for NASA? The growth opportunity, personal development as an engineer, as a professional was immense over there. Once you design Mars rover, you have set yourself so high on the bar. What do you want? I just can't go and do something much simpler.
Welcome back with more local stories, and we are moving on to the local update of the COVID-19 pandemic. The number of fully recovered COVID-19 patients in the country currently stands at 2,439. This is a percentage of 86.64. The number of patients undergoing further hospitalized treatments stands at 365. Meanwhile, the wife of the COVID-19 contracted individual of the Lankapura Divisional Secretariat tested positive for the virus yesterday. As a result, persons of 25 residences in the Talpota and Gamunupura villages who came in close contact with her have been instructed to undergo in-house quarantine. Our correspondent stated that biosamples from 300 individuals who came in close contact with her were obtained PCR testing today. Chief Epidemiologist at the Ministry of Health, Consultant Dr. Sudat Somaravira, said that PCR tests were carried out on several occasions in the Lankapura area. However, none of the results returned positive. Dr. Somaravira further stated that results thereafter individuals who came in contact with COVID-19 contracted persons and the locations they visited were identified and the PCR tests were conducted. However, no COVID-19 contracted persons have been detected from among these groups. And the third Randoli Perahara of the historic Kandy Azala pageant is currently parading the streets. The Perahara is being conducted adhering to health guidelines and without the participation of devotees. The Perahara commenced at the auspicious time at 6:41 p.m. emerging from the main doorway of the Sri Talanda Maligava and parading the streets with the Peraharas of the Natha, Vishnu, Katharagama and Pattini Devalayas. The Perahara proceeding along Dalanda Vidya, Kottagudella Street, Cross Street, near Senanayaka Street and will return to the temple of the Tooth Relic via Rajavidya. Meanwhile, the 12th Perahara of the Azala pageant at the historic Ruhunu Katharagama Mahadevalaya is also currently parading the streets. The final Perahara of the Katharagama Azala pageant parades the streets on the 3rd of August. And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.